Guys, come quick.
What? What's going on?
Look at this.
It's a door?
Yeah, a door that wasn't there before.
Travis, I think you're starting to succumb to cabin fever.
Impossible. I've seen that movie 20 times.
Are you doing that thing again where you count doors?
Yes, but I'm being serious. The door wasn't...
Less talking, more exploring.
It looks like a basement.
I vote we toss that Santa corpse down there. It's really starting to stink up the cabin.
Welcome to Strangers in the Alps, a slasher podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Travis.
That's Frank.
And that's Sam. And we're still trapped in this cabin.
7 episodes later.
God damn it. And did you guys watch that Evil Dead Rise trailer that just came out?
Yeah, I saw it earlier today.
Oh, I just literally fucking saw it.
We just watched it right now. Right before you walked in, Dan, we watched the VHS copy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was the VHS YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I saw it earlier today. I have no idea what I saw. I can't even remember.
There's actually now, there's a YouTube app on VHS tapes.
Great. Okay, so
What did we think?
I don't remember it really. I think there's something evil. Someone's dead. I don't know. All
And
these
there's a
movies-
rise.
Something's evil. Something's dead. I don't know. I feel like every movie like that, they're all the same to me now.
Well, speaking of same, well, I don't want to say same. Kind of immediately, what I kind of watched going through it was I think it sets up the atmosphere really well in the first half. Second half shows a little bit of plot. I like, though, that I think, like, in the beginning, especially the first half, we got a lot of, like, homages to other horror films. Like, I feel like with The Lake, we kind of got Friday the 13th. We got the elevator, which was The Shining.
Mm-hmm. There's also the bathroom scene that's kind of the same as The Shining.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole apartment angle gives me wreck or quarantine.
Yeah, because it was kind of scary because I was even almost thinking it was... Hold on. Sorry, I forgot the name of the movie.
Can I just jump in while you're thinking?
Yes.
So being an outsider on this, I saw the original Evil Dead. How many have there been since then? Not remakes, but actual continuing the story.
3, 4, Travis?
No, there's been... Okay, so there was Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, Army of Darkness. There was Evil Dead 2013.
He's not talking about the remakes. He's just asking about the originals.
Oh,
So 3.
Three films and a TV show.
Yeah, 3 films and 3 seasons of a TV show.
Okay, I know we're not talking about this in this podcast, but Bruce Campbell is in all of them except he's not in this one.
Yeah, well, yes.
Okay, so we can move on. Are we excited about this?
I am, because it looks like it's in the same vein as the remake, which I really enjoyed. We'll discuss that more in a later episode.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I'm excited for the scalp and the cheese grater.
Ooh,
That was
yes.
great.
Yeah. I actually really do like that Shining shot a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool stuff. It looks really grimy and creepy and
Yeah.
disgusting, which I love.
The poster looks like crap, though.
Yeah.
The mom
Yeah.
looks so
Well,
CGI.
It looks like... immediately, if you just immediately look at the poster, I was like, oh, they already made a sequel to Smile?
Right? Yeah.
It's
the
a
mom.
little bit of that and kind of Ethan Hawke's character.
Sinister?
No, not Sinister.
Before
The
Sunrise.
Black Phone?
The Purge. The Purge, the mask.
Yeah, totally not.
That's
where
not
I was
Ethan
going.
Hawke?
No, he's
No.
not a...
That's why I was at Sinister.
He's not a Purger.
Oh, see, I...
No. He wasn't the first one.
He was
Yeah,
the...
but he
was the
wasn't...
dad.
He didn't have
he-
a mask.
Oh,
No,
well,
he-
who was...
Yeah, no.
Oh,
That was the Michael
not-
Pitt.
Yeah, see, I only saw the...
Michael Pitt.
I only saw Purge
Michael's
once.
Pitts.
It was kind of late at
All of them.
night. I might have dozed off a little bit.
So, not to rush anything, but look, I'm sure if anybody was here to listen to our the podcast episode of Barbarian, they must be rather disappointed that we're spending all our time with Evil Dead Rises. So let's talk about
Your
Barbarian.
anger's rising.
I knew you were going to go there. We just finished watching Barbarian, and the log line on the VHS is, A young woman discovers the rental home she booked is already occupied by a stranger. Against her better judgment, she decides to spend the night, but soon discovers there's a lot more to fear than just an unexpected house guest.
Now, we'll go around and talk about what we thought the movie was going to be like before we saw it, like what our impressions of the movie were, if we can remember that. Anybody want to start?
I'll start.
Sam?
So, based on the trailer, I thought it was going to be your normal horror movie. I thought Bill Skarsgard was going to be the villain. And so I was like, oh, this is just going to be a normal, everyday stalker, creepy guy falling for a girl who has no interest in him, run-of-the-mill stuff. So I was excited for it because I like Bill Skarsgård, and I thought that the setup was great. I saw Justin Long for a little bit in that little trailer clip. So I wasn't expecting much, and I was pleasantly surprised.
That's cool. Yeah, going in, I didn't know anything, obviously. I had seen a trailer, but there was very little to pick up from it other than it's a horror movie. The poster looks really cool, but it doesn't give you anything. So I didn't really know what to expect except maybe squatter torture porn, So going through it, it kept surprising me. Number one, because I didn't know anything. But two, because it really pulls some out-of-the-ass twists that really work in its favor. It really keeps you thinking while also keeping you excited. So, yeah, overall, I thought it was great.
Going in, I did not think I was going to like the movie at all. I actually didn't want to see it based off the trailer. I don't always like when movie trailer, it just seemed kind of run of the mill to me. And then when they pull up in the house in the trailer and she's like, oh, I'm at this Airbnb. I kind of don't like when they name drop like that sometimes. It feels weird to me. I thought it was a very boring trailer. I didn't want to see it. I forgot that we were not a visual podcast, so I brought the poster
Nice.
for Barbarian.
And he's rolling it out right now.
I'm rolling it. But, Sam, I will also say
I think the poster's cool.
it's a cool poster. And I think if I had seen the poster first, I would have enjoyed it more. Not enjoyed it more. I would have thought I would enjoy it. I don't know. I just... When you go to movies now, you get like 30 minutes of previews. And just seeing this one in the middle of it, I just had no interest. I didn't see that Justin Long was in the trailer. So did you get the impression he wasn't going to be in there for long?
Dan, what's
May I speak? I'm going to borrow from what is typically Travis's way of doing things with movies. I did not see the trailer. I did not read a review. I wasn't even aware this movie existed until a friend of mine said, I just saw a movie called Barbarian. I said, and? He goes, you got to see it. You're going to love it. So going into watching it, I didn't know the setup. I didn't know anything about what it was about. And so I assumed that I was going to like it only because a few of my friends who saw it told me that it was really good and they really liked it and thought I would really like it. So that was my pre-watching the movie impression, and I'm not going to go any further than that. We'll get there as we talk.
Have you seen the trailer now?
No.
So the trailer just sets up like they're at the Airbnb. They're both there at the same time, both characters, and you kind of have the feeling that something's going on. But all the stuff with Justin Long and all the stuff in the second half of the film, well, I would say maybe after the first 40 minutes, none of that is in the trailer at all.
But I know it's really tricky, right? It's in one sense you don't really want to show any of that stuff because then you kind of know what the twists and turns are going to be. I thought, I'll just say this and then I'll pass it on. I really liked the setup of the movie. I thought it was really simple, but perfect. From the very pull up in the rain to the very going to the front door and realizing their Airbnb had been double booked, I thought, this is a great setup because it's so simple. It's not complicated. And I was very uncomfortable right away because I knew this isn't going to work out. I didn't know how it wasn't going to work out, but you knew it was not going to work out.
I think we talked about it a lot when it comes to trailers nowadays. They give out a lot of plot points right away. So with this trailer, and I wish you had seen it, it's kind of resemblance of what trailers were back then where you don't know anything at all. And I think you would really like it. So when you get a chance, please watch it. And I think that's why you, Travis, didn't enjoy it because it didn't give anything at all. Nothing that would pull you in at all. This was very basic.
I think so too, because now I just remember this film when it came out. I remember we watched it together. I hadn't heard much about it, but I remember it having very strong legs. Like, this movie did very, very well in the box office, but I think it was very strong word of mouth. If you probably hadn't have recommended seeing it, I mean, other than us doing the podcast, now having watched it, I don't know if I would have seen it, but I think that kind of helped was now the trailer being kind of vague, and I agree with you. Maybe I was used to now trailers showing everything, because I think because of the vagueness of it, it really helped with the film. Like, after that 30 minutes, when it cut to Justin Long, I was like, what is going on? But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a great turn.
it's funny that you say that because I was one of the first people to see it where I work, and like at least 3 people asked me, so how was it? That looks interesting. Okay, and then by the end of the week, all 3 people had seen it. So with this movie, like you're saying, word of mouth was really strong on it. Like, it really helped give it some legs.
We're now going to go into spoilers.
Oh, yeah, lots of spoilers. Like I said, I love the setup because it was so simple, and I hate complicated setups where I have to pay so much attention to all these details that may pay off later, but this one did the opposite. This gave you literally nothing but an awkward, uncomfortable feeling because it's a classic. It's a rainy night. We're alone in a cabin. I mean, it was just perfectly set up. I think the movie, this is not a criticism, by the way, but I think the movie had a lot of walking down dark stairways, a lot of walking down dark hallways, a lot of that classic, no, I'm not walking down that stairway. I'm not going into that basement, but I know you have to or we don't have a movie. I did like the little twist where she would use like the mirror to kind of shine light down. I mean, at least it kind of helped me kind of believe that she would continue down there for the guy she met literally one night before. So, but again, there's no movie if you don't do that.
I liked how the movie also really used that to its advantage, because in the beginning, when you have her and she's going down the stairs, she doesn't want to go down. She's like, no, I don't want to go. And then she's like, well, I can't be a terrible person. I can't. I have to go, at least say I tried to help. So she's afraid to go down. But spoilers, when Justin Long gets to the house, when he sees the staircase, it is like, wait, there's more? I could make more money? He is happily running down the stairs, measuring. I think the juxtaposition between the both was hilarious.
Exactly, because he literally repeated what she did with a completely different energy. When it was only that one moment he goes by the cages and goes, well, what's that?
Right, because with the girl, I forgot, Tess, there's always close-ups of her checking her door, locking it every single time when she goes into her bedroom, into the bathroom. So that sets up her being a woman, being cautious of what she's going or where she's at. And then there's this guy that just comes in and, like you said, just do whatever he wants to do.
And which reflects his character anyway, right?
Yeah.
Completely unaware.
Absolutely.
Unaware of what he's doing to other people. Unaware. I mean, that scene in the bar with his friend, that was a great scene. That's the director.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that was the director?
Well, I just know his not bad. It's just persistent.
But did you know that was the director?
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie kind of sets that up with their dialogue at the beginning where Tess mentions that a woman has to be really cautious, but a man can bumble through everything.
Mm-hmm. It's very this strong movie is very gender.
Yeah, and that's by design. The director was actually inspired by a book called The Gift of Fear. It's a nonfiction book, but there's a passage that talks about how women should follow their intuition and not ignore red flags. And this whole movie was woman follows red flags, survives, man bumbles and dies. And I'll be 100% honest. That whole situation, I would bumble through that scary situation.
Yeah, wasn't the film, I think that was one of the first scenes they wrote was, I think, the opening, and I think the director's intention going into the film was like, how can we see as many red flags as possible, like without anyone kind of acting on it?
And I do have a question now. If you guys were in Tess's shoes, you as men, would you guys be fine barging in and be like, you know what, let's figure this out now? Or would you guys be like, it's fine, I'll just go back to my car and try to find a motel?
Well, it's kind of put in the tricky situation because I think if it wasn't more like they kind of established that everything else is abandoned around the town, and I'm kind of I don't
Well,
know.
No, you don't find out until the next morning when she goes to her car.
Right. It's raining. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think I would have just, if I was in the situation, I probably would have just like stayed the night, been very careful, locked the door. I probably would have just stayed, hey, like as soon as that sunlight comes up, as soon as I see the sun, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind staying the night. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to the basement.
No.
I'm just not doing any. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
I'm going to find one room, get comfortable.
I am out of here.
Lock the doors. That's it.
What about you? What about you, Frank?
I'm of two minds. I would definitely not feel uncomfortable trying to figure it out. I've been in situations before where, like, in retrospect, I think, oh, that was probably a stupid decision. But there is a sense of maybe even false security with just being a guy, being around other people. Like, I find myself in situations where, in retrospect, I think, maybe not the smartest thing, but I felt comfortable doing it in the moment. And I don't know what that says about me specifically or guys in general, but I think I'd still be a little cautious, but probably not as cautious as I should have been.
Yeah. I would have just gotten in my car and drive somewhere.
I mean, think about, we were talking about men being reckless and women paying attention to red flags, but like that whole scene with the cops. This is another strong example.
Infuriating.
Oh, but completely believable for me
Really?
that would happen. Mm-hmm. Well, I would say given how she looked, given the part of town they're in, you understand policemen after a while just look at you as another probably druggy, homeless, crazy person. I'm not going to believe what you're... not like she jumped out of her car. Looks absolutely like she just came from work and is like now in a distressed situation.
But but she was like, I was held prisoner.
Right.
And in no way was she unstable besides how she looked. She was very confident in what she was stating. So I felt like the police should have just gone by what she was saying rather than where they're at. But I'm no policeman.
But
so.
I think I think that's more of a comment in the story. I think that was very specific.
Yeah.
That, again, it's another situation where the men are just like, it's that whole calm down. Mm-hmm. It's like the same thing they were doing to Justin Long in the car. Calm down. It's that same...
And then it kind of comes back again, where I guess when you find out I forget his name, the guy that was in the basement, like the older man, when he was younger, and when I guess he like kidnaps the first girl or like kills her when he goes in, he just says, "Oh, I'm with like the gas or the electric company," and she's like, "Okay, like just come in the house, nothing's wrong."
Carlos.
Do you have any idea how many times I've let people into our department because they're like, I'm with so-and-so, I'm with this company that services this, and I'm like, okay.
Well,
Sure.
yeah, they just say play the part.
Yeah. Yeah, and that like, again, that goes back to that whole thing where guys will just be like, okay, cool, whatever. Mm-hmm. And girls have to be, like, women have to be more cautious. They have, because of that power imbalance, they have to pay more attention to any potential dangers like that.
Let me ask a question, because I haven't seen enough of these kind of movies to know, like, this movie felt very original to me in the way that it was executed and the way it delivered its twists and turns. But then that could be just because I haven't seen a lot of movies like this. Because to me, this was it was a horror movie, but it was also kind of a haunted house kind of movie. In the way, like Alien is a haunted house movie in outer space. This felt very
Atmospheric.
Yes, very atmospheric. So that really drew me in big time.
I would say, and I think it's kind of why I was put off a little bit by the trailer, was the story itself. I think is nothing original, but it's the way the story's told. Like, especially the scene where Bill Skarsgard's character gets killed off, then right away it just cuts to Justin Long in the car, and it almost feels like I was like, did we change channels?
But that had almost a Tarantino feel to it.
Oh,
I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I almost felt like I was watching True Romance.
Right.
Where there's the scene when they're at the cave.
Right.
When they're driving in the canyons, and then they got the coke.
But after that scene where he got his head smashed into the walls, and it did cut to Justin Long, didn't you smile and take an exhale? I did. I was like, oh, we're finally not in that basement anymore.
Well, he wasn't smiling, Bill Skarsgard.
when we watched it in theaters and the head bashing thing happened, cuts to black, the whole entire theater, and it was a packed house, was laughing. It was like uncomfortable laughter.
It was that uncomfortable laughter.
Like, what the hell just happened? And I think for me, that cut was my favorite because it took me a long time to catch on to what Justin Long was doing because I was still thinking about the head bashing. Yeah, so it left me like just kind of really uncomfortable and really like jarred. Like, it was jarring.
Is it because you were thinking about what happened after that moment? You were still like trying to think like what's going to happen?
Who is that woman, if you can call her
That cave woman.
right? And his head just got bashed in, and now it's Justin Long driving down PCH. Like, go back. For me,
I don't want to get off course, but I didn't realize that was it.
the woman.
Oh, Bill Skarsgard.
I didn't realize.
Pennywise.
Oh,
Because
Pennywise.
Pennywise.
Again,
You
I
can
didn't.
tell-
I didn't know who's in the. I didn't know who's in the movie, and I couldn't tell. He is a very interesting looking actor. Let me tell you, he
That
has
whole
a
family.
very interesting face. I don't want to say anything negative about it, but it's very untrustworthy looking face.
Well, and that's when it was first coming out, and people were like, "Oh yeah, look at Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise." Like, I was like, I don't know what he looks like. Like, so I thought the eyes were all part of like the makeup, and then when I'm seeing this, I'm like, that's Pennywise. I'm like, they didn't do much to the eyes besides make him yellow because his eyes are kind of scary.
Right, I agree, which I thought was great casting because it made you, even though I kept thinking, this can't be what it is. Even when she went down in the basement and saw the torture bed and everything, I thought, no, it's not. It's not. It's too. If it's him doing it and that's really the story, then I would have been very disappointed.
Which is interesting because, I mean, if you think about it, is it a torture bed or is it just like a birthing bed?
I thought it was a
Because-
birthing bed.
But at the time you didn't, right?
No,
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
time I thought
No.
I'm
torture.
saying in retrospect now.
So my question is like, what does that say about the whole theme of the dynamic between men and women?
I thought it was a torture thing.
Right.
And it kind of got reconfirmed when Justin Long went into the old man's bedroom and then he saw all those videos.
Yes.
And then
Oh,
you're like,
he's killing those women for
oh,
sure.
he's
yes.
but-
doing things to them and then killing them.
Yeah, it kind of to me felt like, and I really liked it, like that whole like kind of like snuff filmness of it.
You like snuff film?
I did not say that.
He likes sniffing films.
Was kind of to me, it just seemed like what Rob Zombie tries to do a lot with his films, like the whole like kind of white trashy. I feel like it worked for this one.
Yeah, I
A
agree.
lot.
I agree. I thought you two for the score when they were going or when she was going down the stairs, it was pretty much like the theme of the whole entire movie. But did it remind you of Texas Chainsaw?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I thought it was
Absolutely.
great.
See, I've never seen that.
We will
original?
soon.
I've never seen any Texas
Oh,
Chainsaw
okay.
movie.
We will soon.
That's on our list, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on our list.
Yeah, I happen to see it on the pile over there, but I hit it. I have a question. I just at some point, I think I'd love to go around and talk about what your favorite sort of creepy moment of the movie that just made you just kind of. I have one for real. I think maybe.
Well, just to start then.
I thought the scene when they were down in the dungeon and she was reaching down with that baby bottle and trying to make him drink that milk, and she's like, "Just do it, man. She thinks our babies are." Leading into pulling him out and taking him to the room and make him suck on her breast. I mean, I was squirming, grossed out, and I tell you, I was freaking out. It freaked me out.
It was the hairy nipple.
Oh yeah. The hair on the bottle
It was,
really.
it was multiple strands.
It was disturbing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, for me, I was like, if I was in that situation, we would be like, "Where's the like kill me option?" Like, where's the? Can I?
You just play drums on the. Never mind. I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
Ew. I just got that.
Oh no.
Dan, don't think about it. It's kind of gross.
I wish we were on camera because I'm doing my thinking look.
See, now we could have put the poster behind you.
Travis,
Perfect.
what's
Unroll it.
what's your creepy scene?
The creepiest scene for me was when she was going down the staircase for the first time, and she kind of heard Bill Skarsgård yelling. I was a little creeped out.
But that's the old "don't go in the basement"
Well, you know what?
concept,
You
right?
know what? It works.
You know what? I agree.
You know, I'd appreciate it if you would just stop judging me
Fight,
when you
fight,
ask me what's
fight,
my most
fight.
serious moment.
All right, separate.
What about you, Sam?
I'm trying to think. It might be probably. Oh, you know what? When Justin Long was in the basement and his flashlight kept going in and out, and you know what's gonna happen. Like, but you just like just let it happen now.
Still gets you.
Right, and just like it's gonna pop up, just let it happen, but then it was prolonged, and you're just like, stop.
Yeah.
And then she shows up.
For me, there's two. One of them I'm gonna bring up later because it's pretty much the ending, but the other one is near the opening where she realizes that she doesn't have the keys to get in, and she looks around and it's just nothing but darkness all around her. Like that feeling is I've driven up near the mountains, accidentally turned off my headlights, and couldn't even see the steering wheel right in front of me. So pitch black darkness like that creeps me the hell out.
No, and that's why too, and that's why I said I would just deny. I don't know what it is. Like I guess I'm so spoiled by living in the city my whole life. Like a lot of times when you see the Midwest and you see those empty towns, that scares me.
I agree.
I don't like it. Frank, do you remember that one time when we were driving not far from here? We were driving down by the lake, Balboa, and I think we were doing a delivery or something, and it was dark, and you had the headlights on, and in the middle of Balboa, you kind of have those like bushes, and we saw that guy stick his head out.
Yes. Oh my God.
That's creepy.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
Frank started screaming out loud.
It was scary.
Yeah, you just saw this head peek out. Yes.
Can we change topics really quick? Can we talk about technical stuff?
Sure.
The camera work and the cinematography.
Amazing.
Right? It's just, for me, how minimal it was or how they set up each shot. Starting with the house when she first got there, it was so symmetrical almost. It just,
Yeah.
oh
And
my
then
gosh.
The shot where she walks into the house.
The panning?
And it pans into the.
Love those, yeah.
Speaking of, one of my favorite title screens in a movie this year. I'm a sucker for a really good title screen.
Same.
The title screen, one of my favorite things. It really sets up a mood.
Yes, going off of what Sam said about the camera work and the direction, cinematography, I thought there were so many moments like that. I loved the sequence where we go back to like 1980s, and when he's walking out of the house and the camera pulls that one camera pull back, and you see this now, this community and what it looked like, and the way it kind of follows him around into the car, and that whole sequence inside the grocery store with the clerk that was helping. Well, you're going to need diapers, and you're going to need, and she's so warm and trying to help him, and just in the face of this like ultra creepy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very different feel. So you pick up on the difference in time, but it's not in your face about it.
No.
There's just
I agree.
a little bit of a difference to it, which is really cool.
It's the aspect ratio change for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
I thought of you, Travis, actually, when that happened. When the aspect ratio changed, I thought, oh, that's a Travis idea.
No, but I agree. I love the camera. I think it's probably, as far as horror goes, probably my favorite camera work since It Follows, which I absolutely loved because of the camera work. And that's, I think, where when I was in theaters and I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to like this movie, was Sam and Frank, well, everyone brought up that first shot when she's in the car and she's getting out and the camera kind of tilts up. And the title card, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to like this.
Right. I think also when they would do close-ups of all the different items that they would leave behind, like the phone, the car keys, it affected me because for me, I'm just like, oh crap, I forgot my phone. And I just immediately think of where it is. So seeing that in the movie, it made me, I can relate to that, and it kind of creeps me out because, I don't know, it just worked for me that it's just like a quick cut.
And what's interesting too is like we're talking about like the way it's shot and stuff. Did anyone look at the director's previous work?
I did not.
He did a lot, it wasn't like foreign stuff.
Yeah, he did that. He actually, I mean, which makes sense now, especially when you think of the ending of the film. He actually does a lot of comedies,
Yeah.
like tons and
Interesting.
tons of comedies.
What wasn't he on? What's that show? The Whitest Kids You Know?
I think so.
Yeah.
Was he?
I believe so. I believe he's one of the
white
white
kid?
kids. No, I've
That
never
you-
seen the show. I don't know.
The show, I haven't seen it since maybe 2011. I thought it was hilarious, and I'm sure it still holds up.
Yeah, it's and it's funny that that's a common trend with comedians turning into really good horror directors.
Sure.
I mean, I'm still amateur over here, but I mean, I've always found that those are probably the two hardest genres, like editing and directing in general, is always just comedy and horror. Very reliant on the timing, which I'm like, well, I mean, it kind of makes sense to me that they, sorry. It kind of makes sense. I think it works, the two genres. Like you had when you had, I mean, I don't care about the guy anymore. His career could burn. Was Joss Whedon when they brought him on for Avengers? Everyone was like, "What is this guy doing? This Buffy guy? Like, why is he doing Avengers?" It's like, well, no, he was great at working with ensemble cast, so it works. And it also too goes into like Mad Max, where they get like directors are like, "Hey, like let's get like the stunt coordinators to direct these films." I think they just work hand in hand.
I have a question. The sequence when she just wakes up in the middle of the night and her door's open and she can hear the sound of Keith in the other room, and she goes in there and he's sort of shaking and obviously having some kind of a nightmare. I'm just trying to... I guess my question is, was that just a MacGuffin?
I think it was
just a way to just lead us in a wrong direction?
I think it was a red herring, like totally.
I think the
Wait,
nightmare was...
define red herring, because a MacGuffin is a film term used where they show you something that has no meaning. They're showing it to you to try to get you to think something's happening.
That's a red herring.
MacGuffin, it's also a MacGuffin.
No, a MacGuffin is like kind of like how like James Bond, where it's kind of like this end of the world device. That's a MacGuffin.
It's a plot point / device that ultimately doesn't matter, but it drives the plot forward.
A MacGuffin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a red herring.
Sorry,
I think you got
ladies
them
and gentlemen.
switched.
I think, because for me, I don't know if you guys thought the same way. I thought that Keith was the bad guy up until the head
up until he
bashing.
died. Me too.
Yeah. So I felt like they kind of set up and led you in a wrong direction, like you said, where you're like, oh, he opened the door, he's trying to do something, trying to pull her out.
I mean, I thought that too, but I also, while I was thinking, if that's true, I'm very disappointed in this movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of being put off, did anyone else think it was a break of character when she said she needs all new sheets and covers in her bed?
It's on my notes.
Oh,
yes.
it is?
Yes.
She's like, I need all new sheets and covers. You know, I'm sorry. It's just I got this thing with germs. And then he goes inside. It's like, oh, you don't know the best way to like undo the wrinkles in the sheets. So he
The
puts them.
duvet, yeah.
So he puts them all in it and he like shakes around in it. And she's like, I'm gonna go in this bed.
Well,
You know,
she was
she's-
drunk by that point.
She was in love at that point, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole scene
It was in
before
your
he
notes
leave-
too. So.
That whole scene.
What did
I
you
was
say?
like, oh, everyone's just, they were like, oh, it was part of the story. I'm like, well, I thought it was something worth bringing up. Other people had it in their notes too.
I did,
But
yeah.
that scene in the bedroom after that, when they're like, that whole like, she's standing there, he's standing there. Well, good night. Okay, well, thanks. That's great. And you can see this, this
What I can
sexual sort of tension going on, and I think that was the director writer. Mm-hmm. The director / writer's way of just selling us on the idea that she would actually care enough to go down the stairs the next day.
Yeah.
That she actually was invested in this guy because they took that 30 seconds to show us that. I mean, and I'm not saying that's bad. I think that was really important, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
Because when she first goes down, I mean, I'm sure we all thought, why would you do that? That's
Right,
dumb.
yeah.
But the way that it's presented and executed works well enough that you forget about it by the time she's down there.
Yes. And again, turning the mirror and kind of reflecting the mirror to try to see down. I mean, I thought that was really cool. I thought there's some really cool things in there.
That worked well because I think she's a camera, or she works in film. So
Documentary.
So it wasn't out of pocket for her to do that.
Well, those
so
are
that
real
really worked
filmmakers.
well. How'd you guys think
Don't
about
say
Justin?
that at my work.
Documentary.
How'd you guys feel about Justin Long's character? He himself.
I thought he was very persistent. I didn't think. No, he was a terrible.
Second joke.
He is a terrible human being.
That was an interesting journey on its own, though, right? I mean, he does a terrible thing. He all but admits it in the bar. And then later, I think you were going to say something, but
I forgot. Go ahead.
that's okay. I made a note, and then I erased it. I made a note when he was in that shelter with the homeless guy that sort of saved him.
Yeah.
When he does that speech, I'm a bad guy. I've done something. I actually wrote down, right then I made a note saying, this is not a good speech. This is, why are we doing this speech? It felt very clunky and very forced, but it was an important speech because we had to hear that to then get the payoff later when he just freaking throws her off the edge of the building.
I think the clunkiness of the speech is, I think it's on purpose, because it's very much like, this is supposed to be my come to Jesus moment. I don't know how to do it.
Right.
Wait, it doesn't feel sincere, but it feels sincere in that insincerity.
It feels sincere for him.
Yes.
Because this is a guy who has no sincerity.
He's a douchebag in nerd's clothing. That's what he is.
And a soulless human being.
And yeah,
I like to say that he's someone from LA. Like, he's a clear LA guy.
100%, but not like a local, a transplant.
No. Like,
Yeah.
like someone that's moved here just to, like, be in this business and then just doing whatever he can to,
Yeah.
like, be successful. He's just a douchebag. He's selfish.
And he victimizes himself with everything. He's like, I'm just a victim, and
Yeah.
I just want to be a good guy. But then at the end, like you said, when he pushes her off,
That was great.
Well, and that was the other thing, which I thought was an important moment. This is why this movie, it builds itself, it builds so well as it tells its story. When well, for lack of a better description, the cave monster woman breaks through the wall and grabs the homeless guy and literally rips his arm out of his socket and beats him to death with it.
oh, that was the best.
But I think
that was the
it was
absolute
great.
best.
It was great, but also, again, it was an important moment because it showed the strength and power of this thing. So when they fall off the building. I mean, or when she crushes. Well, actually, she crushed the car before that, didn't she? It just showed the strength and
Of motherhood.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it was. But you know what I mean.
Well, because they have the moms that lift the car up with the baby.
That's a job. Moms that lift cars up.
Coming to Fox next Tuesday.
Moms that lift cars up.
Speaking of which, that is the name of the monster, technically. Her name is Mother.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, but I think she's also a daughter.
She's his
Because
daughter.
she's an incest
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, the one that lived.
I try not to think too much about how it became what it became and the strength of it, what it was. Because just inbreeding doesn't suddenly turn you into some
It's like the Hills
crazy
of Eyes.
ass
Yeah, it's the Hills of Eyes,
Herculean woman.
Hercules.
Okay, but
Stop.
like even
My little Hercules.
Hercules.
I already forgot what I was gonna say. Oh my god. You kind of feel bad for the creature woman though,
For sure.
because it's like she wasn't. Well, she was born that way, but it wasn't her fault.
Well, like you said, I mean, I'm gonna sound like I'm posting on Reddit here. Reddit movies. I'm a historian here. I'm a great analytical filmmaker. To me, it's kind of the whole the tradition. Oh, he's at the end of the day, Justin Long is the real monster.
Yeah.
She may look like the monster, but Justin Long is the
But
real.
I mean,
No,
but
I-
that's kind of true, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think that's a joke. That's
I've said the way I approach it. I'm like, hey,
I don't think it's Justin Long. I think it's the guy, the dad.
Well,
He's the real monster.
in the situation at the yeah. No, I
Justin
agree.
Long is just a mini boss.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, his death was freaking cool.
It was.
Eyes gouged out, head split open. Note, second time that Justin Long has had his eyes gouged out.
What's the first one?
First time was Jeepers
Sorry,
Creepers.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
wow. I just know him from Dodgeball.
Dodgeball 2.
And Fever Pitch. Wasn't it? No, that was
No,
Jimmy.
no, no,
that was
no, no.
Jimmy
Fever Pitch.
Fallon.
You,
No,
no, that
Oh,
was,
wait,
no,
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 it
no.
wasn't.
You're thinking of Going the Distance with
right,
Drew
because
Barrymore.
Fever Pitch was.
was Jimmy Fallon.
There you go.
I also feel like he did a series of commercials. He had a commercial
He did.
campaign.
I think it was like a cell
phone?
phone commercial.
Yeah.
No, he was the
T-Mobile?
Apple guy, wasn't he? The
He
Apple
wa-
guy.
He was the
He
Apple
might
guy.
have been the Apple guy. So I got Dodgeball and the Apple guy.
And Jeepers Creepers and
I forgot about Jeepers.
and he no he didn't get his eyes gouged out. I was gonna say there's also Tusk.
He turned into a completely different
Yeah,
thing.
he turned into something else there.
Oh, we need to put Tusk on here. Tusk.
Tusk.
I would rather not.
Look, if I'm
That movie
watching,
makes me
If
uncomfortable.
I'm watching Megan and Cocaine Bear, we have to watch
It's
Tusk.
M3 gun.
M3 again, sorry.
BMW
Okay,
M3
fine.
gun.
We'll do a Tusk.
Thank you.
We'll do Tusk if we can do Lords of Salem.
That's fine.
All right.
So the other thing I was going to bring up is my my most I guess creepy or unsettling moment was actually the end where Tess is about to shoot the monster and she's like it's such
Papa.
a sad moment.
Oh, it's terrible.
But it's also creepy. Like I was unexpected for me. Like I was thinking, "Oh, she'll finally get away." And then like the monster's comforting her. Ugh. So good, but also really sad.
I thought it was really sad too, and I also thought, but I thought it was really cool when the gunshot went off. We hard cut to the credits because there was really nothing left I needed to see after that.
No, anything afterwards. It's
Which is you're getting up and walking under a street light, and walking down a wet street. I mean, who needs to see that?
I can tell you now, we're not going to agree on this.
Okay.
But,
I can't wait.
No, it's for me. I think it was the perfect ending with the gunshot, like the ending of
Chopping Mall.
the Truman Show, when he opens the door and closes it. Perfect end to a film. We don't need to see anything else.
You know why I don't agree with you?
Yeah, because you think you don't like the ending.
But do you know why?
Because you think that's the halfway point.
Yes, I think the most interesting thing never happened in that movie, and that's him going out into the real
You
world.
saw everything you needed to see.
You didn't.
Okay, anyway, so
But I will say that movie was just as scary.
piggybacking on what you said, when Justin Long's character pushed Tess off, and when the creature, the mother, jumped after, that's when I realized, okay, she's not there to kill both of them. She's there to collect Tess. That's her baby. And that's when I started feeling bad for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Right, that's what... Going back, ripping the arm off of the homeless guy, that was a good setup, because when they fall off that building and she lands on top of her, first of all, she lands on top of the monster woman, so you know she's alive. But I also knew, well, the monster's still alive too, because we've already shown that it has super, like, crazy power. Like, man, she slams it with a car and it survives that. So...
Yeah, and it's a horror movie. You know there's that last scare.
Yeah, and it has to happen. I think we should go around and sort of surmise the movie and maybe give it a score.
Yeah.
If we're ready.
So my score is actually tied into a little fact about the movie, and that's that Justin Long was actually second choice for AJ. The first choice was Zach Efron.
Ew.
Really?
Yeah.
I can totally see
I
that.
don't
I
know
don't like
why
that.
you were gonna. I thought you were gonna say Zach Braff.
Imagine
No.
Garden
I
State.
totally
Garden
thought.
State.
No, he's too old.
I could have seen.
Because I was like, he's kind of douchey, you know.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
But Zach Efron, I can totally see. That would have
Yeah.
worked pretty
I don't
much on the
think-
same level.
I don't think it would work because he's too good looking.
Well, that was originally the approach. He saw AJ as like a himbo beefcake
True.
douchebag.
Hollywood guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a pretty boy, handsome
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. I mean, no offense to Justin Long, but
I would rather Justin Long than Zach.
Yeah, Justin Long at the best is just kind of cute.
Yeah. Continue. What's
So all in all, I thought it was great. Surprising. The pacing was deliberate, never boring. Never, I found myself paying attention to the movie and appreciating it for what it was doing without thinking, okay, let's move this along. Let's get to the point. It felt like a really, it just felt like a lean, fun, well-written horror movie. And I mean, that's the best that you can hope for with a genre movie like this. Like, there's so much crap out there that when you get a really good movie like this, you gotta hold it tight, just like Mother
Mama.
held Tess tight.
What's your score?
So my score is gonna have to be a 4.5 Zac Efrons out of 5.
Oh my God.
I really liked this movie. I thought it was really, really well made from beginning to end. I have really, again, I have not as much experience in watching these kind of movies, so I thought at times, it had almost like a Silence of the Lambs kind of mood to it. It was very, there was one point in the movie I thought, wow, this movie could be like nominated for an Academy Award. This is like really a cool movie. I would say the only thing that would keep it from getting to that level is Act 3 really does just become, not just, it was really well done, but becomes a horror movie. So it doesn't quite have the depth of maybe like a Silence of the Lambs kind of movie, but I thought it was really well done. I thought the acting was really good. I thought the cinematography was great. I thought the writing was good. And I really liked the dialogue. I particularly thought the whole scene at the beginning between the two of them, in the middle of the night, having some wine and talking and just kind of sort of like revealing, the difference in the sexes and point of view. And I just thought it was really, really smartly written with some great pacing and just built on itself to a wonderful crescendo. I thought it was really, really good. And I would give it, out of 5 hairy baby nipples, I would give it 4.6 hairy baby bottle nipples.
That's a lot of hairy nipples.
You stole my scoring. You stole my scoring item. It wasn't hairy. Mine was just baby bottles.
You can do it.
I will. Really quick though, when they were talking, Keith and Tess, wasn't she talking about? I completely forgot the line, but something about being like a woman being someone's pet.
There's something like that,
Right,
yes.
and then it's kind of funny. Then towards the end, she became someone's pet.
Oh, you're right.
Anyway, I'm gonna go first because Travis is gonna talk a lot.
We won't let him.
No, cool. I kind of agree with Frank when it comes to the final thought. I thought the pacing was great. When you think about it, it kind of starts over twice, so it has two setups. But I never thought of it as dragging. I was consistent pacing for the first part, second part, even when it comes to the third act with the horror. I thought it was quick, but it was great. You don't feel like things are left behind, things are being tied up, and that's what I enjoyed the most. And I think this is one of the most unique horror movies of 2022 that I've seen so far. So I really, really enjoyed that. And I gave it 4 baby bottles, non-hairy, out of 5.
I'm just going to start off mine with saying we are now going to consider this film Dan's recommendation for Academy Award winner horror movie, Barbarian.
Absolutely. Do they have horror movie awards? Not the Academy,
I'm
but
sure
there must be.
Sure. There's lists that. Good thing you brought this up, Dan. We're gonna tie back into a previous episode here, which was Violent Night. So on a list here of some of the top horror movies of 2022 is The Menu. This is an excerpt from the film. Like a number of films on this list, the less you know the better, but gripping performances and strong supporting turns by John Leguizamo.
Oh, I would just like to say that I'm going to be retracting everything I said about John Leguizamo. I found out he was in a Shakespeare movie, so if he can do Shakespeare, he's a fine acting dude. So I take my hat off to John Leguizamo and his fine performance in Romeo and Juliet. I have no doubt.
And
Oh,
John,
right. I
you've
forgot
never seen
about
it?
that.
No, I've never seen
Wait,
it.
you've never
it's
seen
great.
it?
Baz Luhrmann
I
did
mean,
it.
I've
I
seen
think-
Romeo and Juliet.
Right, no, but that one.
I've never seen the Baz Luhrmann
I think that's the
one,
best Luhrmann film.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
John
I'll watch it for sure.
So to go back, I think that this film definitely surprised me. I agree with Sam how I like that the film had 2 setups, but I really think it works to the film's favor. It kind of takes a very simple story, but I think just the director was very confident in his filmmaking, and I think that just brings it up to a new level, which I'm going to go on a tangent here. It saddens me that this film is so good, but yet, how did everyone watch the movie? We
watched it together, Travis, in this cabin.
on VHS. Well, if we wasn't on VHS,
On
I'm
VHS
guessing-
in theaters.
no, VHS in theaters, VHS on HBO Max.
Yes. on our cabin's 55-inch
No,
HD
and
TV.
That's what saddens me is you can actually only watch this film now streaming.
Right.
Disney, who now owns Fox, has not released this on home video on physical. Apparently, it's a thing now. People think because Disney's kind of been focusing a lot on Disney Plus. Is that Disney now is gonna kind of doesn't want to do home video anymore.
It's been a lovely tangent. How did you rate the movie?
I'm just saying, please don't give up physical media. People still collect physical media. There are dozens of us.
Would you stop saying the word physical? It's making me very uncomfortable, and you're sitting right next to me.
You don't like physicals? No, I'm just gonna say, please release this film. I would buy it on disc. Long live physical media.
Long live physical media. That should be our T-shirt.
Long physicals. Yes.
No, but like I said, I think it's a very expertly done film. I will give it 3.5 out of 5 severed arms.
Nice.
That's a horrible rating for all the things that you've said about it.
You give it 3.5 out of 5?
Yeah, I'd give it. This
He's
guy who gave
discerning.
Chopping Mall a 4.
Yeah, and you can say nothing but good things
but wait
about
a minute.
it.
But that's the thing. He gave Chopping Mall a 4. This is another.
I'm very-
we opened another door into the weird world of Travis Reese.
You've become unreliable.
I'm contrarian.
We
That's what I
found
like
his
to think of
basement
myself.
entrance.
No, it's,
Push him in.
I got a dark
I will
basement I
say
need you to walk down.
It's
Could you go
because
do that for me?
I think it's great film. See,
No,
It's
you
fine,
don't.
it's
You're
fine.
picking
No, you
in a
don't.
corner here.
You don't think
No,
it's a
I
hit
great
yourself.
film?
I think it starts out great.
It is not a
no,
great
we're
film.
not going to go through all this again.
Let me just say something. There's no such thing as a great film that has 3.5 stars out of 5. That is not even feasible.
Okay.
So no, you can
No, it's
rate
already-
it what you
it's-
want, but stop saying the word great and then saying
Because
Three
you,
and a half.
you,
Engraved and you can't
all
change
keep
it.
cutting me off. I'm saying that
We
I
haven't
think
been.
the way it starts off, it's good. I just think by the end there was a couple issues, but I will give
Which
it.
you didn't name at all.
You know, I get sidetracked.
Yeah.
Okay, like us, follow us, share it with your friends.
I'm not going to do that this
Here's-
time.
here's the big-
I'll do
Okay.
the thing this time.
Let me just say something before
Yeah,
you do
you-
that. Here's the deal, guys. If you like what we're doing, share it with your friends. Forward it to your friends. Tell your friends at the office. Tell your friends when you're having dinner. Grab the link, copy it, and send it to them so they can enjoy it as well. And now listen to Frank.
This has been Strangers in the Alps, a slasher podcast.
I'm Dan.
I'm Travis.
That's Frank.
That's Sam? Question mark?
Join us next time when we'll be watching Malignant on Strangers in the Alps.
Guys, come quick.
Wow, perfect.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one was
I just felt like the.
Now I know what we're doing.